I'm Elisa. I work in Oxford as an accountant. I have neurological damage, so I find it easier to use a wheelchair. I'm lucky enough to have bought a Zenit Autoboc wheelchair. This is my second Autoboc, so yes, very pleased with this one. And my students that I work with think that they particularly like the orange colour. I had an old £200 wheelchair because we didn't know how long I was going to be in a chair. I'm not spinally injured, it is neuro damage, so how long's a piece of string for how long you're going to be in the chair. Went to the Nadex and saw Autoboc, massive great notice, and apparently my face lit up, according to my father. The backstory is, when I was a teenager, I used to help out with special schools summer clubs. So we'd play around in wheelchairs. The kids were always way faster than I ever was. I might have sulked. And some of them had prosthetics. So I knew Autoboc for both reasons, but more for prosthetics. And it was that, when I saw the sign, it wasn't wheelchairs I was thinking of. I was in a wheelchair, I thought all wheelchairs were the same, pretty much. It was prosthetics. So took Dad along, met Richard from ReCare, who said, oh, funnily enough, yes, Autoboc do that, but they do wheelchairs, and he introduced me to a green second-hand wheelchair that I remember was £1,000. I had a little play in it, really liked it. Dad and he had a word as I was whizzing around and popping wheelies and doing all the things that you can in a better wheelchair. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Richard came to my house a couple of weeks later hoping to sell this second-hand one, and I was half an inch too wide. He put it very pleasantly. So I ended up buying a Avantgarde TI 8.9, which is an Autoboc old wheelchair from 20 years ago. The old lady got to 18, which I understand is still very good for wheelchairs, and I was incredibly proud of it still. Then it got to 19 and I thought, oh, it's getting a bit old. My students at work had already bought it a pint for its 18th birthday, as you have to. So I came here, had a chat with Richard again and said, need a new thing. And he showed me his workshop where there are stupid numbers of wheelchairs to look at. My dad being my dad, you haven't shown us an Autoboc. So I got shown their Zenit, and it was orange, and it was Halloween. So I was severely drawn to it. We put an order in that day, and within 5 or 6 weeks, I've got my new one. It's so comfortable. This is my safety net. I can walk, not very well. My students tell me I walk like a funky chicken, which I understand is a technical term. It gives me energy, so my wheelchair is totally my safe space. If I'm going to a client and I'm a bit nervous, well, I'm in this. So it's my superpower. Because it's designed for me, although Zenit is one of Autoboc's products, I'm fully assessed for it. So Richard measures everything and decides, tilt and how it's going to fit me, skirt guards, where everything fits, how it works. It gives me freedom. Because ReCare have got a good showroom, you're literally shown different styles of wheelchairs from all sorts of manufacturers, and powered and manual. You get to sit in them, you get to feel what a seat feels like, what a cushion feels like, what Richard's notorious for actually tipping you back in one. So making you totally feel, yeah, I'm at home in this, what it's going to be like if it tips up. And then you're measured, not in a bad way, literally the sides. Are you going to fit snugly? You pick the kind of wheelchair you'd like, and then they go through a checklist. And it's literally, I like the, the colours and all the fun stuff, but he's obviously got to check, where's the wheel going to sit on the frame? Where's the tip point going to be? Where's the skirt guard? And then it's stupid things like, what casters do you want? I'd never heard of frog leg casters. You suddenly, you're in this world where they really are. I don't think Richard's ever been in a wheelchair to have to be in a wheelchair. But they've got so much expertise and knowledge, and they've met so many of us that are physically using the wheelchairs, that they're very good at saying, these are your options. You've got 12 options on, say, a caster. I'd recommend this or this. But they listen. Because one thing that I was offered was, I think they were called marathon tyres, but it's an inflatable tyre. Because of my neuro damage, I have hand-eye coordination problems. So although I can pump up a car tyre, these need an awful lot of air. And we discussed it and realised, no, that's not going to work for me. So I've got solid tyres. So it's pretty much every single decision is made for you. And I find that exciting because I know when Autobot make it, they've made it specially for me. So it's like my chair was born just for me. I therefore became a normal accountant, although I've never been normal in my life. So I do a lot with students, because our students come out of A-level or degree. They've got some knowledge, but not about normal accountancy. So very much how to do day-to-day bookkeeping, how to interact with a client, how to answer questions, all of that they hopefully learn on the job. And I'm told I'm quite good because with the neuro damage, I struggle to learn. So I think that makes you a really good teacher, because if you struggle to understand it yourself, you're not going to teach with waffle. You're going to teach with basic and life examples. I've got an incredible support network around me in the office. I think at least partly because of my personality being a bit wacky. They feel they can't offend me, so they're much more likely to help or just laugh. Either is totally acceptable. Going to work because I need my brain, there is no option. I need to be in the wheelchair. It also means that I can go in and out of meetings. That's where it really is a godsend. My wheelchair lives in my car. So I get into my car to go to work. If it's a long day, I've actually got a steering knob that I'll pop in to give me, again, more energy, and it is an automatic car, because at least part of my problems, my left side is much more weak, hence the automatic. So I get to work, whiz in, and then it doesn't matter if a student needs a query, if a client suddenly turns up. Clients never turn up when you expect them to. They always pop in. Or you'll have a boss that, oh, can you just pop upstairs? If I'm not in this, actually it's no, can you come to me? Because it's going to use my energy. I can stammer if I lose my energy. So equally, in a meeting with a client, this looks professional because this works. I play the piano and recorders. I'm in Thames Valley Recorder Orchestra, which I absolutely love. And the wheelchair, it does give me the energy I don't always need it. So if I'm playing in the orchestra, I'm not sat in the wheelchair. But if I'm doing a long day, then I will be. it just gives me confidence, it gives me energy. The classic is that we'll go to the designer outlet in Swindon, which is huge. And my husband is notorious for spending hours shopping. I can't stand, I can't walk, not for that kind of day. But in this, I can happily be on my feet for, 7, 8 hours, not a problem. And because it's got a small, well, in my eyes, a small turning circle, you've not got that stupid situation of going into a narrow aisle and thinking, I can't get through. And I've seen it so many times with the bigger wheelchairs, with the bigger scooters. They're just abandoned, and either the person has to get out or they're left stuck. Well, I obviously love it. To me, it's light. It feels very solid. I don't know the technical term for it, but it's got solid bracing underneath. But it's got this trigger thing that means that it folds. So to me, this is the best of both worlds. I use a little jazz. I've not got a massive, great, bus that I drive around in. So I need something that fits easily into the back of the car. I don't have anyone with me normally because I'm a feisty bird and I really don't want someone with me. When I'm going around and having fun, or I'm whizzing into the office, I just want to be me. So for me, I can throw it into the back of the car, I can whiz off, do what I need to do. I don't have a blue badge, so I can't throw open an entire, 90-degree back door. I've got the normal space. I can get this out of my car on my own easily. I'm in it in seconds and I'm away. It does curbs, it does all the day-to-day life. I can sit in it. I've heard of other people say, oh, their wheelchair, they have to get out into a chair because it's not comfortable. This is my office chair. This is what I'm in day out for the office. But equally then, at lunchtime, a student will say, can I have a chat outside the office? Fine, we'll bomb into the pub, we'll go to have a coffee, have a meal. I can do it from this. There's no issue. I can look at just what I need to look at and be me. So as far as I'm concerned, it's for the independent person. It's for the person that just wants to get on with their life. I'm not spinal. I don't know what that's like. But for someone like me that just needs help, needs support, it's ideal. It's personality. I think that's what always attracts you to a person, a company. They're people, they're not robots. They're going to give you an honest answer. So, like, years ago, that first wheelchair wasn't right for me. They were honest enough to tell me that first one, £1,000, no, it was that little bit too small. They didn't try and sell me then something that was totally inappropriate. So I think you get an honest answer, you get the expertise, and definitely when it comes to servicing, they've spotted faults with chairs or little, oh yeah, you could do with this, this would help you. They've adjusted a chair for me because I had to have one for work years ago that wasn't working. They worked out what I needed and fixed it. With this, when we went from marathon to solid tyres, yes, it was a discussion, we sorted it, it's fixed. Whenever I need to book in for servicing, you just phone up. They'll either come to you or you go to them. It's whatever works for you. They'll come when they say they're going to come. You know what the price is going to be, and they'll do what they need to do. Why wouldn't you come?